Hey everybody, Dev here, back from YouNerded.com, here to give you guys a review for Vice Principals, this time for Season 1, Episode 5, titled Circles. This episode continued the great streak that we left off of last week with the homecoming episode and North Jackson beating Percival. I thought that was great, and this episode, I was nervous because I was thinking maybe that was the high point, and now they're going to dip back low to sort of standard Vice Principals territory, but now it turned out to be a great episode, and we got a lot of good things to work with this episode too. We got Belinda's renewed confidence, which we saw back in episode 1, and that was nice to see her back on her game. We had a look at Russell's home life and just his struggles with his neighbor, and we also got a look at Gamby trying to fight back for Russell's friendship, which I thought was sweet in a way. The first thing I do want to talk about though is Russell's home life, which we got a little bit peek into. The whole situation with Russell was that he had a neighbor who would blast music in the middle of the night and sort of wake people up and just be very rude like that. And on top of that, the guy was sexist, he was racist, he was homophobic, he was all the works, and it was a character you wanted to see taken down, and you wanted to see him taken down by, Russell, because Russell, he was very beat down by everybody in this episode, by Gamby, by the Jackie, the neighbor guy, by, his wife and Mishaw, always putting him down, things like that. So it was just nice to see him have a win, and he felt like the underdog in this episode, which usually doesn't happen because he's sort of that cold, calculating character who can sort of manipulate everyone else, but this time he felt, less than himself, and I wanted to see him succeed out of that. So we see him attempt throughout this episode to get Jackie, the neighbor guy, to bring his music down, and the guy just, is very rude about it and sort of just belittles him and things like that, to the point where Russell, he just snaps and puts the soda cans in the pillowcase and just destroys the guy's boombox, which I thought was really funny. This all sort of leads up to one thing, so I won't talk about that ending just yet, but I do want to move over to Belinda and how she's as a character now. And I'm glad that Belinda got her confidence back after last week, because now she can sort of put Gamby in his place, and that's where Gamby is the funniest, because he doesn't want to be there. And to see him sort of lashing out and hitting the wall and breaking pencils is hilarious. One thing I like that the show does is that they aren't afraid to acknowledge these little side gags, because in normal comedy you may see that, you laugh, and then it just goes about its day. In this show, the little side remarks get acknowledged by the people around them, and that's what makes it funny, because their reaction is always hilarious. And the main thing that Belinda does to Gamby is take away his power as a disciplinary vice principal. He can't give out detentions anymore, he can't do in-school suspensions, he can't do expulsions or anything like that, and he just seems like he's stripped of his power to the point where he has to now sit down in these little circles and have people talk to each other like that instead of his whole ham-fisted way. And this whole situation with Belinda sort of led to Gamby and Russell splitting apart at the beginning of the episode, and Gamby sort of getting jealous because he was with Seychelles, the music teacher. And then by the end of the episode, it all came together in this nice way, because Russell was being put down by his neighbor, and Gamby, he just wanted to get back into Russell's good graces, and he felt powerless with Belinda. And to see him come to Russell's rescue at the end and hit the guy with the brass knuckles that he confiscated was an awesome moment. I thought the whole story here was very cohesive. It was very, well planned out and well paced and things like that, and it all came together at the end. And I like that Mishaw and Russell's wife Sarah, when they saw him, he had the brass knuckles, so it looked like, he took him down. And just see Mishaw always belittle Russell and see oh, you're not a man, probably, that's what she's saying. And then just to see him sort of on top as they come is that was a really nice moment just to see. Overall, I really liked this episode. I thought it was great, and I thought it built well off of last week's too, and sort of spilling it off into this new story, and everything was just, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I liked the writing, I liked the acting especially, and everything was just a good thing about it. I gave it an 81 out of 100, which is a great score at YouNerded. You can read my written review on the site if you want to see more details, and let me know what you think about it there. You can tweet me at nerd. If you want to discuss the episode with me, or just leave a comment below. I'm always responding, and I love to talk about characters and prediction and storylines and things like that. Give the video a like if you like it, and definitely subscribe to the channel. Anyway, guys, if you want to see more Vice Principals review, stay tuned to next week, and that's when I will see you guys. A bit of a departure from my opinion last week, which left a very sour taste in my mouth with that field trip episode.